Henry Bonorden. That's a name that will always ring true to faith in the Methodist Church, and particularly in the Gauls Methodist Church. When I first came here in 2010, Henry was the lay leader. Talking to people, found out Henry had always been the lay leader. I didn't realize how long until I started working on the church history a few years ago. And Henry was a big help to me. We sat down in the annex several times to go over various issues regarding the history of the church. The man had a knowledge of this church that was just unbelievable. Henry was a true leader. Now, I did not know it at the time when I was talking to Henry and all of this information was being transferred back and forth and we were kicking ideas around. I didn't really know until just before he died that he had been serving as lay leader for 50 years. 50 years. Now think about that. I've been the lay leader for 3 or 4 years. No way am I going to make it to 50. I might not make it to 10. It is just fantastic to stop and think about it. If you know anything about the history of the church, Kyle kind of alluded to it. There was a period of time when there were only 5 or 6 people coming in those doors of the sanctuary behind you. 5, 6 people. Think about that. Henry was one of them, and probably most of his family members were the other 4 or 5. But Henry kept the church together. But anyway, all through the years that I had known Henry, I was always impressed with his knowledge, his dedication, and his faithfulness to God. And that's what led to him being a successful lay leader for so long. Now, I cannot verify this. I tried. I dug into every record the old United Methodist Church had and could not find a single lay leader anywhere in the entire Methodist Church worldwide who had served as lay leader for anywhere near 50 years. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Henry Bonorden was the longest serving lay leader in the Methodist Church. At this time, I would like for all of his family, he's got a bunch of different family members here. Dee, if you would come up, and all of the family that's related to Henry, y'all come on up. This is part of Henry's legacy that's walking up. They've all been involved with this church one way or another. Some of them members, some of them not. But they've all been supportive of this church and supportive of Henry. Dee, if you would pull this cloth up. This is a plaque that we've made in honor of Henry. It will hang in the annex right over there. I want to read it to you. Henry J. Bonorden joined the Gauls United Methodist Church in 1968, becoming one of the most active members. In 1971, he was appointed as a lay leader, and he held this position until his death in 2021, a period of 50 years. He was the longest serving lay leader in the Texas Annual Conference and possibly the entire Methodist Church. And I still say the entire Methodist Church. Henry's faithful devotion to God and to this church was unsurpassed. During times of low attendance and times of change, Henry prayed. God answered those prayers. Today, the church is active and vibrant due to the foundation he laid during those 50 years. He will long be remembered for his service to the Gauls Methodist Church.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. You know, we really started going to this church before then, in the early 60s. We lived in Bryan, but we were coming over here at a place, and so we were coming most Sundays here, either here or to the Methodist Church in Milano. But Henry loved this church for several reasons. One of them was because they had the service at 9:30 in the morning. He loved that. All the rest of them were like at 11 or so, but he loved that 9:30 service. So that was the hook that finally got him. He mowed the yards. He had his family mowing the yards. We did lots of work around here. You can ask my daughters about that. We had fun, but he loved this church, and he loved the people in the church, even though there were few. He loved to talk to Mr. Goss. He had his own special chair in the sanctuary. They did a lot of talking. O.L. Harlan was the organist, the treasurer, and whatever else she could do. She was wonderful, but they had lots of long talks. There was J.T. Todd, who was a good friend of his, and they visited a lot. Tudor Kirk was one that he liked to talk to too. She was one of a kind, okay? But she came weekly, and so those were some of the first ones to come, plus our family. But we enjoyed this church. I left the church to play the piano at another church. And so I wasn't here all the time that he was here. But he loved the people in the church. But most of all, he loved God.
Amen.
He was a praying man. He was an inquiring man. He loved to talk about the Bible. I said when he got to heaven, he finally found someone who could give him some answers. But we appreciate this very much. Thank you so much.